What on earth have we just witnessed in the final 6 games to end Champions League match day 1? I don't even know where to kick off, because last night I was saying, yo, you man, give me my flowers when I'm right. I want to see the roses and the daffodils and the lilies, all of that. Send it to my yard. Today, I'm going to hold my hands up. On the whole, I cooked, but the one that I really wanted to get right is the one that I unfortunately got wrong here. So we'll gas myself a bit later on in the other games. We're going to have the chapters. If you want to skip the Newcastle Barca game, feel free, but I don't know why you want to, because this was very eventful, right? I, of course, told you guys it will be a 2-2 draw. In my defense, I thought Voltemade was starting, right? When I seen him eating a banana on the bench, minute 3, I said, uh-oh, what's happening here, guys? And lo and behold, what happened? They did get in behind quite a few times, Newcastle. A couple were offside. Of course, we know Barca are going to come with their crazy high line offside trap. If you watch Barca for even just one game, you'll know that's how they operate. But unfortunately, Gordon was miskicking the ball, or he was even missing the ball completely when the cutbacks were arriving to him. Harvey Barnes was shooting straight at the keeper. All in all, the first half was basically an indication of why I've been gassing up Jean Garcia this entire, calendar year 2025, bro. This guy, he makes clutch saves, bro. He was saving their lives, because listen, Newcastle, we always say it, bro. Newcastle home atmosphere, when they're rocking, you must open your own window and start getting fresh air, because you can't breathe, bro. There was a period where Barca, where they had the left back and the left centre back had the ball together, trying to play out of the press. Newcastle win a throw, and I promise you, the way the Geordies celebrated, you think they scored, bro. They take off their shirt. Hey! You're just seeing their bellies bouncing like that. I'm thinking, bro, what's happening here? It's a throw-on, But again, that's how much passion I suppose they have. However, as I reiterated, I thought Voltemade would start and, cause problems with his height and whatnot. He didn't. And eventually, after 20-25 minutes of, I'm not going to say domination, but Newcastle, finding joy, let's say, right? Bruno G playing that pass. And then, you're seeing guys sprint, Elanga making crazy runs. Barca started to grow into it. And this is where you got to give guys like Pedri and De Jong their flowers as well. They started to realize, okay, cool. If you aren't going to score, we can ease into the game and start dictating. It doesn't mean Newcastle now stop having chances, because, again, second half, we saw Joe Linton header come really close. Actually, not that close. I'm exaggerating. It was maybe like a foot wide or something. But, again, Newcastle looked dangerous on all counters. But Barca just seemed to be more in control, right? Rafinha was picking up the ball in spaces. Now, before I gas him up, as you can see, he's on the screen there. He's doing his thing. Let's also be honest. Rashford in the first half was pretty meaty, bro. I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys. Rashford wasn't that good in the first half. Lewa, the entire game, virtually anonymous. So it was basically Pedri, De Jong, and then, defensively, Koundé done a really good job locking up that side. Whereas maybe on the left side, yeah, there were a lot of gaps, being exposed by Newcastle on that side. Lo and behold, however, it was a Rashford header that opened the scoring. A Rashford bullet header, in fact, might I add, to become, of course, as we all know, they mentioned it in commentary like 45 times. I was waiting to hear my own line of course, he's the first Englishman to score for Barca in the European competition since Gary Lineker back in 1989. All I'm going to say is, if that little clip there is not worth a subscription, is not worth you following, I don't know what is. You know me, we're on the road to 50k right now. We're on 40.2, something like that. We're on the road to 50k, and then that 100k plaque is coming soon. If Gary Lineker is telling you, for those of us who remember, surely you must be subscribing. If you are enjoying the free videos every single day, it's been literally nearly 2 months now of daily videos. If you don't want to subscribe, it's cool, innit? You don't rate my thing. It's calm. Something that you all rate by force, however, is Rashford's second goal. I was sat here in this very seat watching the second half, and I sat back like that. I said, hey, I almost shouted, bro. The neighbors would have started calling the police or something. Bro, this guy banged it, knuckleball, off the crossbar. I just told you yesterday, my favorite goals are the ones that bounce off the crossbar. He did exactly that. I say, wow, that is a rocket. This is probably one of the most confidence-based players I think we'll ever see. I'm going too far again, guys. Allow me. I'm tired. I went to gym today. I did a 10k run in it, so it's my first time doing that for years. So I'm knackered, bro. But again, I'm here getting you guys the video. It's not the most confident guy you'll ever see, but right here, right now, we know that when Rashford feels like it, He's a crazy, crazy bagsman. And one thing that can never be doubted is his ball striking, right? We've seen it in the England training camp videos. This guy can knock a ball anything, bro. You bring like an egg or something, he'll knock a ball at top bins, bro. It don't matter. So fair play, 2-0. At that point, you're thinking, all right, Newcastle, you had your chance. Now they obviously start panicking. They're bringing on like 4 subs at once, and Voltemada and everyone's on. It's too little too late, man. You had the opportunity to really step on Barca next in that first half an hour, because although, you know, Spanish atmospheres, again, they can be hostile. We've seen Bilbao and these kind of teams. There's something different about Newcastle, and you didn't capitalize on it. And again, I think Eddie made a mistake here, clearly, by the fact that he made 4 subs. He realized, I kind of bugged out here. I know it's Barcelona, so you have to respect Barcelona, but at the same time, you don't play Barca every day, bro. This is not the days of like Faustino Asprilla, right? Most of you were not even born when Faustino Asprilla was scoring the hat-trick against Barcelona, for those of us who remember. So I feel like use it as an opportunity, as like a free hit. Just go out there and try and take it to them. Unfortunately, like I said, they didn't do that. Anthony Gordon finally scored at the end, like 90th minute. But to be honest with you, I'm not even going to give him any praise for that, because he had about 4 or 5 chances that he should have buried beforehand. And it's another player that, me personally, I'm sorry to say, guys, I just don't rate him. But yeah, Barca, fair play. Barca fans, you were right. You know, my bad. That's the thing with me. You're going to get other guys, they're going to be stubborn and they're not going to say nothing, bro. When I'm right, you guys should say my bad. When I'm the one that's wrong, I say my bad, bro. Nobody is too big to get things wrong. However, we move on to the next game. We go to the Etihad, and I'm back because I told you, people are sleeping on Man City. Yeah, I get it. Brighton, you know, kind of packed them in that second half. They lost twice in a row. And yeah, cool, beating United, anybody can do that. Oh, whoa. Sorry. I forgot to mention one thing. United, you're not escaping this. Because Rashford scored that banger. And the first thing I thought of when it went in off the bar, Ruben Amorim. He told us that he will rather play Manchester United's 63-year-old goalkeeping coach over Amorim. Over Rashford. I would like to see the Manchester United goalkeeper coach knock a ball that same thing in training and hit it off the bar and in. That's a disgrace, and yet another reason why this guy should be sacked. Sorry, United fans. Anyway, over to the other side of Manchester. As I was saying, people have been sleeping on Man City because, for whatever reason, you know, guys are forgetting what Erling Haaland is, bro. And we saw it again today. Now, in all fairness to Napoli, they gave it a really good go. 11v11, I'll be real. I think I'm not going to say they dominated, but it was like 51-49 in Napoli's favour, you could argue. Donnarumma was coming clutch, you know, as we saw last year in Champions League. But Di Lorenzo mistimes his tackle. You can say like it's unfortunate or whatever, but at the end of the day, if you miss the ball and you go for the ball like that, it wasn't dangerous or reckless, but in that kind of tackle, you have to get the ball, and he didn't. So therefore, boom, red card. And unfortunately, that meant that KDB's special homecoming that people have been gassing up for like 3 weeks ended within like, what was that, 25-30 minutes. He had to get hooked because, again, people are going to be angry at Conte, but let's be realistic. 10 men aware the Etihad. You cannot have any passengers. A 34-year-old man that's not going to be running and putting the hard yards. So I understand why he came off. So KDB off, and it was VMS who now became the star of the show. Vanja Milinkovic-Savic in goal for Napoli. This brother, he was moving like octopus, bro. He was saving everything. I said, there's no, surely City are going to win this game. I, of course, went City 2-1. At that point, I realized, okay, I'm not going to get my Napoli goal here because, you know, I've predicted something. It's not going to happen, right? Cool. No problem. Eventually, after shot upon shot upon shot upon shot, there was nothing he could do about City's first goal. Rodri drives the pass forward. Foden, lovely scoop. Like, this is a pass that you don't see very often recent times from any player realistically, because again, so many players, they just want the ball to feet. They cannot control this kind of pass. Foden scoops it in the air, and Haaland, if you haven't watched, I can't even describe it to you. It's like he dinks it but with a header and lobs the keeper inside the box. I honestly don't think there's other strikers currently playing that would score that. But yeah, he makes it look like it's something normal, bro. And we said it, like, you know, yesterday for Kane, before that for Mbappe. The best strikers in the world right now are all on form at the same time, and me personally, I'm loving it. So fair play to that. But again, Haaland is inevitable, right? That didn't surprise anyone what happened there. What did surprise me, however, Jeremy Doku. We've always known he's a great dribbler, right? That one is undisputed. We've seen his videos from Rennes even, where he's saying he wants to annihilate his defenders. But yo, what I saw from him today, I see one defender, bang, another defender. Yeah, the order is bang. No, you ruined it. It's a, pack it up, man. Put the soundboard in the bag, bro. Sound deck, whatever you call it, man. I want to like a cold little boom, boom, boom. But anyway, Doku 1, 2, 3, 4, man. And then rifles the bottom corner. I said, hey, that's not the Doku that I'm familiar with, you know, with the end product as well. Fair enough. So lo and behold, he's made it 2-0. Again, fair play to him. At that point, City are pretty comfortable. They can rest players because, of course, there is that massive game at the Emirates this weekend, Arsenal versus Man City, one that has a lot of vitriol behind it. So yeah, GG's to Man City. I was really enjoying the Reinders runs as well, by the way. That's going to be really interesting seeing how Zubimendi deals with that, or if Rice is going to be on him. But again, that's Premier League talk. Let's continue in the Champions League, because like I said, if I'm correct about Man City winning, which many of you doubted, can I get my flowers again for Copenhagen Leverkusen? Now, I was so close to getting this perfect, bro. I said it was going to be 1-1, and it started off with Copenhagen peppering Leverkusen. That first 8 minutes, I don't think Leverkusen even knew what planet they were on. They were just seeing stars. And lo and behold, who scores the first goal? It is the easiest for those of us to remember possible, because Larsson opens the scoring to make it 1-0 for Copenhagen. The son of Henrik Larsson, who on this day in 2001, for those of us who remember, also scored for Celtic. So again, I guess it runs in the family, if you will. Now, at that point, Copenhagen started dominating, and I said, oh, my 1-1 is looking a bit shaky, because Leverkusen looked way worse than I expected. El Yunusi was looking sharp. One thing I didn't like though, Mokoko's game today. He kept on finding space, which I guess is a credit to him, but then he was wasteful, bro. He was missing chances, misplacing passes. This is meant to be the FM wonder kid that guys were gassing up for like 3-4 years. But I said on TikTok, I think they lowered his finishing stats from whatever it was to 1 out of 20, bro. This was bad. Someone whose finishing stats, however, require no debate, no arguments, is Grimaldo. We saw it in their invincible season. Lo and behold, in like the 80th minute or something like that, a rocket free kick from all of, I'm not even going to exaggerate, but I want to say like 35 yards, whips it, top corner, and I'm thinking, he's done it again. Not Grimaldo, me. I'm saying me, I've done it again. I'm the one that like scored the free kick, but I was there gas thinking, yeah, they're going to be calling me a genius on YouTube. They're going to be gassing me up on TikTok. Yeah, Copenhagen saw a last minute winner. They go up the other end, minute 86, and they go up and win it 2-1. I'm thinking, bro, why would you go and do that? I was so close to perfection. But then what do you know? Leverkusen unlocked their judge yet again to score a last minute equalizer yet again. Obviously great work to run through, and a bit lucky with the finish, kind of bouncing through guys, but 2-2 in the end. As far as I'm concerned, you know, I'm counting that, bro. There was no need for them both to go and score one goal ahead, you know, 86 and 90, bro. Just let me have my 1-1. So again, many of you said that one team would win or Leverkusen would smoke them. So can I please have my flowers for that one? For as much as Newcastle was incorrect so far, I was cooking for the rest of them, although there is one howler coming up later. But final 3 games rather. Oh yes, Club Brugge. Do you remember when you laughed at me for saying they're going to beat Monaco? I told you guys, Akliouche, good talent, but you go away to Club Brugge, that's a different thing altogether. They'll tell me, oh, nah, you're not watching the Uber Eats McDonald's League, you're not watching. Okay, 4-1. Akliouche with the missed penalty, and Club Brugge go and put 4 on their head. Now, granted, not even I was expecting 4 goals. That's like, what they were doing was ridiculous, bro. I could not believe what I was witnessing there, because obviously, like the first goal was that, what's his name, is a Tresoldi with a little toe poke, you know, good goal there. Onyedika bundled home, but then Vanneken's volley, it kind of just like finessed outwards. The connection was sweet. It just finessed outwards towards the top bins. Very, very nice. And then Diakon, I think that's how you pronounce his name, I'm not really sure. He kind of, very nice composure, cut one way, cut in the other way, and then whip it with the left foot. Again, 4-0, you're thinking, bruh. I'd argue I can't even take credit for that at that point, bro, because obviously I said 2-1. 4-0 is crazy. Ansu Fati did get a consolation goal right at the end to make it more respectable for them. and more respectable for me in the sense that I can still claim that, no? Given that many of you went Monaco win or that they'll scrape a draw, I think I can claim that. And I need to claim that because it starts to get wrong very soon. The last game, game 5 out of game 6. Game 5 out of game 6. What am I saying, bro? I'm knackered, bro. Game 5 of 6, sorry. Sporting against Kairat. I went 3-0. Ended up being 4-1. Again, as far as I'm concerned, that means a Sporting 3-goal win. I'm spot on. Trincao, deja vu. Literally 2 bangers, top bins. But I'd argue, the goal that moved me more, Giovanni Kenda. I don't want to cook Amarim again, but please, are you telling me this is the guy that he wanted to go and play the right back? This demon in the box. They weren't doing right back shifts. Because I'm tired of them saying that their right wing back is like an attacker these days. He's not, bro. Not when you're playing Mazraoui and Luke Shaw as your left wing back and right wing back. I don't want to hear it anymore, bro. Or Dorgu and these, man. I don't want to hear it. So yeah, Kenda's goal. It looked like I was watching like, what's even the best FIFA like that? I can't remember. Yeah. FIFA 17, 18, that FIFA era, where man was doing left stick dribbling, and then he scores the goal. I said, yeah, you know what? Fair enough. They made it for Kairat again. Did get a consolation goal, so you know, fair play to them. They're not going to be getting many goals this tournament, I'll tell you that. And the final game, I have no excuses. I can't even say like, yeah, I was close. Yeah, you know what I mean. I said Eintracht Frankfurt and Galatasaray were going to draw. I said that obviously Frankfurt just aren't very good. Galatasaray, okay, my only excuse is that I thought Osimhen would be, you know, 100% fit and firing and ready to go, which obviously wasn't the case. So, you know, I cannot control that one. However, 5-1 is inexcusable. So to all, I'm not even going to say sorry to the Frankfurt fans. First and foremost, the other Turkish fans, Besiktas and Fenerbahce fans, you guys who kept on saying, haha, you don't know Galatasaray, they always choke it when it matters. Hey, you may have been right, because what on earth was this performance, bro? They got absolutely packed in. Now, the worst thing is, Galatasaray took the lead, bro. And I'm there thinking, remember everyone who laughed at me? And then I forget, Davinson Sanchez plays for Galatasaray, bro. He scores the own goal. Bro, I can't even factor how many goals went in because I'm sure like 3 of them were own goals, bro. I'm trying to think back to them in my head. I'm pretty sure Davinson Sanchez scored 2 own goals himself. And then there was another own goal from someone. It was a complete mess from all of them, bro. And in the end, Eintracht Frankfurt scored the 5th goal to make it 5-1 and send them to the top of the Champions League group. So Frankfurt fans, my bad. I still ain't got you doing anything afterwards, but for this game alone, I'm a humble guy. I accept my wrongdoings. For me, it's back to the drawing board. We have to go and assess where we went wrong, where I miscalculated, and match day 2, we go again. Because as far as I'm concerned, I don't know if you guys agree with me, this was really fun. Doing my prediction on the website, the whole match day 1, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I've loved it. Hopefully you guys have as well. If you did, leave a like. Let me know what you think was goal of the round so far. For me, maybe it's recency bias, but I think Rashford's banger, bro. It was a lovely, lovely goal. There were some bangers Tuesday and Wednesday as well, though. So let me know your best goal. Let me know your player of the week or whatever you're going to say. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing top 10 players of match day 1. So stay tuned for that one. Keep the algorithm booming with as many comments as you like. Tell me what you're going to have for dinner tonight, or if you've had it already. Tell me what you're having for breakfast tomorrow. Just spam comments. Do whatever you want. Keep it booming. Appreciate you guys. In a bit. Bosh.